Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Beth Ellicott.
And you are listening to the midweek version of Fiber Talk, the twice weekly podcast for the needlework artists. First thing out of the gate, I keep forgetting to mention this. I keep fermenting to get to mention this.
Are you fermenting? That's the question.
No,
don't ferment.
Maybe that's the problem.
No fermenting.
As you encounter Fiber Talk stuff, do us a favor: like, share, subscribe, spread the word. Please, we appreciate it. I mean, the audience isn't shrinking any, but I'd like it to grow even more. And so please spread the word. If you listen, enjoy it, pass it on to someone else. Let people know. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Thread Talk tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Time with Cathe Ray on the YouTube
Always
channel.
Fun.
Oh, yeah. Go back and listen to the rest of those. There's 3 of them, 4 of them?
I think there's 3.
3. Yeah, Cathe Ray will open your eyes as to what you can and can't do with threads, mainly what you can do, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. And she encourages play. That's the thing. Yeah. Just play with it.
Yep. That woman knows a couple things about the thread. That's for sure. She do. No show now next Wednesday. No show on the 24th. No Wednesday night show.
I'll be baking pies.
Is that what you'll be doing?
At least one.
I don't know what I'm doing. I think we're doing something with Sarah and the kids. I'm not sure, but whatever.
Yeah.
So no show then. We will though have at least the plan right now is we will have a regular Wednesday podcast. So you can count on that, but no show Wednesday night. And then now this Sunday, Cathe Andrews from the Unbroken Thread will return. I think her second time. Yes. Lots to talk about with her. We got things to talk about. So Sunday will be with Cathe Andrews, the Unbroken Thread. Don't miss that. She is a treat every time. And last Sunday was Mary Corbett. And that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
I was listening to that today. It was fabulous, as always, with Mary Corbett. She's just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. It just kind of falls out as she walks down the street, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Just like that. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the schedule coming up. Portefeuille. We have talked about that numerous times. You just got a shipment from the attic. I'm waiting on a shipment from the attic. You just got a shipment. So tell me what you're doing.
I am doing portefeuille on, I think it's 56 count linen. I don't remember what exactly it is.
You're crazy.
I am crazy.
You're crazy, but I want to do it too.
Well, and I was thinking about it because I was looking at the linen. Well, because I did serge the edges. I still have to dump it in water and iron it, so it gets all the little creases out. And I thought, you know what, I can see the threads in this. I think if I get it really nice and taut in my scroll bars, I should be able to see these because I've been working on the 45 count linen for Spring Hill, which was from, Cathe Ray. And I'm not having, the more I work on it, the less difficulty I'm having seeing the threads and seeing the holes and seeing where I'm supposed to go. So I'm kind of hoping that this too, I will acclimate to this new linen.
I think that's the biggest hurdle is just the acclimation.
Right. I think your eyes do adjust to it after time. Over time, I noticed that on the 45 count, but I do slip on. I normally use like 1 magnification readers or maybe 1.5. But when I'm working on Spring Hill, I have to put on my 2.5s, just to make it a little larger so I can see it better. So I have a feeling I'm going to need something a little stronger on my magnification for my glasses.
Could be.
So I can see the little threads. But the colors are beautiful on it. They are just gorgeous.
Okay, so backing up the truck now. So 56 count and Soie Surfine. And
correct.
Did you go with the prescribed colors?
But it was whatever Jean kitted up for me. I said, Jean, just do it. Just kit it for me.
So you did. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think, though, if we had Soie Surfine or if you had favorite colors, you could just say, hey, do them in this colorway. But it's beautiful the way she's kitted it. So.
Oh yeah, well she kind of knows what she's doing. So.
Right. Right.
Okay, so 56 count. All right, I got to know which one you got, and then because I think I have to do that with you.
Yeah, and it's still long. It's almost 30 inches long.
It's a monster. It really is.
It is a monster. And I now see, I have friends who do a lot of samplers, and they stitch in a hoop.
Uh-huh.
And I can see why they keep those monsters like in a hoop or on Q snaps, because you're not got this big old long thing you're lugging around, or you're stitching. You can just move where you're stitching underneath where you are, instead of moving your whole chair over, or your mechanism. Like, oh, I got to scoot this over because I'm moving to the right side of my stitching. I don't know. I think it's easier in the hoop, and I was kind of debating on whether to do it that way, but I think I'm going to need the tightness from a scroll frame. We'll see.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this, because I don't have any free scroll bars, and I'm not taking the stuff off the scroll bars. So let me. All right, I'm going to get. I'll call Jean, and I'm going to get the same linen you have and Swasserfine, and let's do it in the hoop just for the experience.
Oh, do it in a hoop.
Yeah,
okay.
let's do the whole thing in a hoop. Hey, Jean does it all the time in a hoop, so come on. What's our problem?
Well, but my question, I almost wanted to call her and say, okay, so if you're doing this in a hoop, do you wash your piece afterwards? Because no matter what, even if you're washing your hands all the time, you're going to get, marks, or, you have oils in your hand. There's dust in the air. Do you wash your piece afterwards?
Well, you really can't, because it's silk thread, right?
Well, but it's the Swasserfine, which I think you can wash.
Oh, well.
Well, because they use it in the garment industry, don't they?
Got me. Don't know. If that's the case, then I don't know. Now here we are raising questions here. All right.
Yeah, we're raising questions. Okay, so people, if you have answers, send a note to Gary, so we know.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I mean, the first time I received 100/3, it was like in a quilting something, and it was like an off-white or white.
Well, that makes it washable. I mean, those people wash those stuff all the time, right?
Right. So it was like
those people, like there's some foreign entity. Those quilting people, they're weird.
They wash their stuff, unlike us.
And then the knitters. Whoa.
Oh, I know. And they use 2 needles at once, Gary.
Oh man.
They're. Mm-hmm. Anyway. No. But I'm thinking the Swasserfine, you should be able to. I mean, you're not going to run it through your washing machine. You're going to put a little bit of Orvis or a light detergent in and rinse it. Rinse it, and then go that way.
All right.
I don't know.
So we got things to learn. Okay, so that's what we're gonna. All right, I'll call Jean. I'm gonna get, because I have the chart. I have the chart and the linen for the monster sized one. But all right, I'll call her, and I'll get the linen and the thread. I certainly have hoops. I got a whole bunch of those. And all right, we're gonna do it in hoops for the experience. 56 count Swasserfine.
I don't think you're going to last too long in a hoop. I just have a feeling that.
Well, I'm putting it in a stand. I'm not going to hold it, handhold it. No way. No way.
I don't have one of those. I've been on the lookout for one, and I know I should just, bite the bullet and buy one. But
sock full of pennies. Use the table edge.
That's true, and I do have my.
You got the fancy weight thing,
Yeah.
Come on, Beth, you got all the stuff.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I can do this. Oh, now you got me wanting to go wash that piece of linen.
Yeah.
And get it started.
All right, I'll call Jean and get it in the mail, so we'll get set up. All right. That's our deal. Swasserfine on 56 count, Portefeuille. And it's still going to be 30 inches long.
That's how long the cut is. linen is cut 30, I think it's by 18. So it's still pretty.
Okay, so it's going to be 24, 25 inches long then. Well, that'll just be a cute little thing.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
That'll just be a little cutie thing.
Unless we go really crazy and stitch it over one, but then no, that's insanity.
Yeah, oh yeah, we should point out, we're going to do Swasserfien 56 count over 2. Yeah.
Over 2, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Not doing it over one.
No, that's just asking for a major headache. Yeah. All right, that's the deal. Okay.
All right.
That's it. That's it.
Are we starting this before the new year or after the new year?
Oh, I think let's just go for it right out of the gate. As soon as I get my stuff and get set up, let's just go for it.
Okay.
We'll figure out something else to do at the beginning of the year. I want to do some needlepoint at the beginning of the year.
Okay. Me too. I've realized most of my pieces are cross stitch, and I like doing cross stitch. I find it very relaxing, and that's probably why they're all cross stitch right now. But I'm ready to pull out a needlepoint.
Yeah, we need to do a counted canvas thing. Let's see here, because I set up Lady Mary. It's all set up. Yep, it's set up and ready for the first stitches. I even basted the center lines and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, Gayan normally has you do that. Always has you do that basting first, which I never like to do, but it's very helpful. So. Yeah,
I remember. It's been a while, but I remember with Lady Edith, I did not do that because what do I know? I mean, I know more than Gayan, of course. You know, I mean, come on, why should I follow her instructions? And I remember initially that I remember it taking a little extra counting and double checking. And so I thought, all right, this time I'm going to listen to the master.
Right. Well, even on the hearts, I remember one heart, I thought, oh, you know what? I've done so many of these. I don't need to do this basting line. Yeah, you do. It makes it so much easier. And just follow the instructions with Gayan. She's got it down. Just follow them.
She's just trying to help.
Right.
I'm sure she would welcome you making it harder on yourself, but.
Right. And I know her husband always says she's always holding the hands of her students, making, he's trying to encourage her to challenge us a little more. But yeah, I do like that. The basting line, it makes sense, taking time to do it. So, yeah.
Yep. So I have that set up. Got my stretcher bars. So ready to go. So now I've run out of tacks. I had just enough tacks. I had to take some tacks that were bent and get the pliers out and straighten them out just to have enough.
I was listening to you talk to Cindy, and I was yelling, "You need tacks! You need tacks, Gary!"
I do. I'm completely out now. I had a whole supply, and now I'm completely out. There need to be those brass ones that you get in a little box. Need to be able to get those in a bigger box. You know what I mean? Like Costco size box.
Right. And I bought some from we had someone come teach a class, and they had I don't know where you get them, but they're the big fat heads of tacks, and they came in a bag of 50 or 100.
That's
and it was
what
perfect.
I want. Big fat heads. Now see, these are pretty big, but they're bigger than the ones you normally get at the needlework store.
Yes, they're those flat, kind of gold-colored ones.
That's what I have, but
right.
Are there bigger ones?
There are bigger ones, and I don't think the designer is in business anymore.
No.
So, I don't know what they're called, because they have a name. And I think I split. There were so many. I thought I can never use it. So a friend and I split a bag. That's how many there were. I was like, and I still haven't used them all.
Because these are what 4, 5, 6, 7 16ths wide. Yeah. 7 16ths wide the heads on these. So that must be what you're thinking about. But yeah, I'd like to get a bag of 50 or 100 or something.
Right.
That'd be really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know where you can get those.
I don't either, because those little boxes are nice, but I just take the boxes and dump them in one of my jelly jar containers, just because I hate
Right.
dealing with the little boxes.
And I have a bunch of those little empty boxes. Why don't I just get rid of them? Because they're
Right.
got all these things tacked up.
Yeah, you
that I
get the
could
empty
stitch.
boxes, and then you get the collection of the little lifting tool.
Right.
A bunch of those, and yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right. Well, if anybody knows where to get those
larger.
tacks in Costco-sized quantities,
Gary wants to know.
yep, I do. Okay, so there's, all right, Port Fête is on the road. Gay Ann Rogers, St. Mary's, or Mary's Geometric, I have set up. Still working on Sarah Parr.
You're still working on Sarah Parr. So how's that going? Have you been able to take any stitching time?
Not in the last 3 or 4 days, but I had a good run there for a little bit. Yeah. Yep. So, okay, here's one. Below the verse, you just run a straight line of X's in blue. All the way across. Now, I've done the border, top, and both sides, and I'm just keeping it up as I go down, just keeping the border ahead of me going down the sides. So it's just a simple row all the way across. I get all the way to the right side, half a stitch. It's like, so it's make an X over 3, or make a normal X over 2, and then just do 1 over 1, which is what I did. So then that tells me something got out of whack with the border at the top.
Yeah.
By a half a stitch. And so, yeah, so we'll be fudging at the bottom because there's no way that border's coming out now. Not a chance.
No. You're too far along.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. So, and I still haven't charted the verse. I got to chart the verse, and I lost my note for who had that tool set up, so I got to go find that and then chart it. Oh no, that's right. I know what I did. I got the app. That was it, Victoria. Somebody talked about the app for the iPad. That's right. I got that app, and that looked like it was going to be easy to chart, and I just haven't sat down and charted it. That's right. Okay, I'm caught up now. Yeah.
Good.
I bought the app. It was like $8 or something for. And you're going to ask me what that app is, aren't you?
Well, I was thinking about it, but I guess I shouldn't.
No, you can, because it's Stitch Sketch. Stitch Sketch is the app.
Oh.
I think it was $8. iPad, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it for because you have the Android iPad, right?
I have Android. You're right. I have the Android.
But yeah, Stitch Sketch, and it looked like it was pretty straightforward to do. So, but I just haven't sat down and filled in the squares, you know.
Yeah, and that would be so worth it because I have recharted verses on samplers or on wanted to chart something myself, especially words, and it's like this is such a pain to do it by hand where you're marking every little X, and it's like there's got to be an easier way than doing it this way, but yeah, that would be great.
It looks like Stitch Sketch will make it easy to do. Yes.
Okay.
And if it makes it easy one time, then it was worth the $8.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're going to use it more than that. I'm sure you will find more uses for it than just that.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the kind of thing, though, on samplers, if they have a verse and you don't like the verse, if you have a tool like that makes it easy to change, yeah, you'll use it a lot. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of people don't like those, like the morning samplers, the kind of ones that have like downer verses.
Right. Yeah.
Like you want to change something a little more cheerful.
The Grim Reaper hath come to get you, and you are gone, and you will be forever gone and in the hole. Yeah, I know.
No, you don't want that on your sampler, huh?
No, I don't need that doom and gloom. No. So yeah, okay. So that's what it was. So that's what all I have to do is stitch that. But yeah, I know I'm a half a stitch off somewhere. So we'll be fudging, no problem.
And it's not in your blue row.
No,
it's not in your cross.
No, because that was just single X's all the way across, and no. I scanned it once. I'll scan it again, but just to be sure.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I'm taking the blue roll out now. I don't think so.
No. And those little girls are always making mistakes in their samplers.
Right.
They just kept going. They didn't
Right.
care.
Well, and that's just it. A half a stitch on the edge up against the border thread. I mean, you'll never see it. So that's on 40 count. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
No one's going to see it. No
Nope.
one's going to see it.
Nope. So, okay. So that's a list of whips. That's just well, that's the ones that I can see sitting here at the microphone. Ignoring the ones that are in the bag. And then we have the painted canvases, which is also something we need to get back to.
Mm-hmm. I had a roadblock on mine. I wasn't sure about a thread. And so I put a few stitches in, and then I took it to a guild meeting. And they all said, that's fine, Beth, keep going. And I was like, okay. But I haven't touched it since. So
we need to do a show. I think we need to do a show,
Yeah, just do one in December sometime.
Yeah, I'll throw a few more stitches in. We'll do that. Yep. Because we need to keep that going. So, and speaking of the painted canvas, I'm debating, because the Sign of the Arrow shop here in St. Louis is staffed by volunteers. And I asked about that when I was in there the other day getting threads. And the lady who was helping me was in charge of the volunteering. And she was more than anxious to hand me a form to fill out. And I'm thinking about it. Seriously, I'm not just idly thinking about it. I'm seriously thinking about it because they need help on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Well, Saturday's obvious. That, of course, I'm sure they're swamped in there. But Tuesdays and Thursdays also. And I think she said that was like 3.5-hour shifts. And so it's got me thinking about it because, I mean, painted canvas, I've dabbled in it. I've got a couple I've done, but dabbled is probably the best word for it. And I wonder, just the volunteering part would probably be excellent learning in terms of helping people get threads off the shelf or helping someone with a stitch or any number of things. I bet in fairly short order I'd learn a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's I think it'd be fun to work there because you're surrounded by, all those threads, the canvases. I think you'd find it kind of inspiring to be just there. And then, with people coming in and interacting with them over the canvases, I think you'd start developing, you could look at a canvas and say, oh, I think this stitch might work there. I mean, it would take time, I would say.
Yeah.
But I think you'd add to the cause. It would be great. Get more. I mean, I always think it's especially if you can get more, males involved in stitching, or people say, hey, it's not just women doing this or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt I'd be the only male volunteer. I think that's pretty much a lock. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm giving serious thought. I think it would be good education. Yeah, I think I'd come out of there after a few months with some new skills and new knowledge, without a doubt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think you'd enjoy it. I mean, I think to volunteer. I think sometimes people think, oh, hey, it's their dream job. I get to work in a needlework store. I'm sure I know there's lots of work involved, but I think you learn a lot while you're there. And I think that's why people like to do that. Yeah. And I don't have a local needlework store, so I don't have that option. No option there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, I'm not kidding myself. I mean, I worked retail stores when I turned 16, grocery store and pharmacy. There's retail work is, there's a lot of straightening of shelves and putting threads back and all that stuff that needs to be done all the time. I mean, you have to keep up with that, or the store becomes a train wreck before you even close it. So no, I'm not kidding myself that work. But even that work's kind of fun to do. I mean, you're just getting stuff organized and straightened out. So that's fun. But yeah.
And you'll be meeting people local in the area, which I think is also good. And you might find there might be a group of people that stitch together.
I know there's an EGA group. Somebody told me there's a good EGA group in the area. I just haven't tried to connect with them.
Yeah, they did the region seminar right before COVID.
Maybe that someone was Beth Ellicott that told me that. Could be.
Maybe, but I don't know. I have never been a part of that guild, but I know it must be a larger one to hold because they held. No, it wasn't region. They had didn't they have national there? They had national there 2 years ago, that's a big deal.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking seriously about it. I think it would be fun, and I'm sure they can use some help through the holidays. And I can scare up 3.5 hours 2-3 times a month. I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He said. He said.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cram one more thing into the schedule. See how you do. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? You have nothing better to do with your time.
Just sitting around killing the time most of the days. So. Yeah.
That's right. What's eating and sleeping?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that crazy stuff. Yeah.
Why bother? Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you can eat at a needlework store. I mean, you just eat and wipe the grease kind of half off your fingers.
Oh.
Then go handle some threads for somebody. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, no.
Get a big old greasy fried burger and no. I had that happen to me once in a shop.
No.
Yeah, shop's gone, and a long time gone. But yeah, a lady was sitting there eating her lunch, and I came in and asked about threads, and I wanted to pick them up because she just wiped her hand quickly on a napkin, and she handed them to me, and it always kind of bugged me about it, I mean, she didn't get them all grease stained, but still, no, don't handle those threads, thank you. But it was too late, so I bought them and left and gritted my teeth. Yeah, no. Think we eat in the needlework stores? No.
No, maybe in the back, and then wash your hands when you hear a customer come.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah. But not. Yeah. I mean, she was just sitting right out there. She was the only one on duty in the store, just sitting right out in the middle having lunch, and then let me get those for you. No, don't. No, yeah. I didn't want to be rude and say, let me just handle those instead of your greasy fingers, but I didn't. I bit my tongue. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
All right, so I have whips everywhere.
So here, I'm going to back you up. So do you ever just go, now I know you had to go through them all to pack them, but
Right.
Did you really go through them when you packed them, or did you just finally get to the point where this has got to be packed, and you just put them in a box and away you went?
No, I went through them because I actually tried to make sure I had the parts close enough together that when they got unpacked, they would be. I actually did some organization, and there's too many.
Are there too many? You didn't count them?
No, that would just be demoralizing.
Well, and the reason I ask this is there's at least one lady that I know of who goes through her whips once a year.
No.
She goes through, yeah. And then I asked somebody else, and they did the same thing, and I can't remember. It might have been somebody in my guild. And they physically go through and look through their whips, see if they want to do them. If they don't, they move them out. If they do, maybe they'll put them up on their list. There are most guilds have a way to sell your stash, as you know.
Yeah.
And for donating to the guild.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take a lot of the workshops and classes and you're not a fast stitcher, I can see how you could quickly accumulate a lot of those.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said for that. I think because we do hold on to things and you're thinking, okay, will I ever, let's be honest, am I ever going to finish this piece? Maybe it's time to move it out and let someone else have some joy from it.
I only have one that I know I'll never finish. The rest of them I want to finish. And that's why I was so intrigued when Jennifer was doing whip bingo or whatever that was called, because she was
Yes.
making, well, she's still doing it. What do you mean was? She's still doing it. She's making good progress on a lot of them. And I was most interested in that because that was what was in the back of my head is maybe I should do that.
Oh, me too. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's called Whip Go. And I think you're supposed to have, so you have like 24, 25 squares. Must be 25. So, and I actually think I have like about 25 whips.
Oh, I could easily do 25. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
do that. I could match you. Well, see, the trouble with all this is like 10 minutes ago, you just added another, I'm blaming you, just added
Yeah, you
another
blame
one
me.
to the list. Yeah.
And I'm thinking about adding 2 more, but we won't talk about that yet. We won't go there. But I think I've been watching people do Whip Go. I was watching people do it before Jennifer started it. So to me, I think you set yourself up for failure if you don't set your board up right, or you set up your desire to finish a whip in the right way. If you just want to handle all your whips, yeah, putting them all on the board would work. But I know I don't want to do that. That would drive me crazy. I'm thinking of doing something where I put on my board something like needlepoint, so I can pull out one of, and as long as it's technically needlepoint, I can work on it. Put a counted cross stitch or samplers, or make it very generic. So that way I have a lot more choices, because I'm afraid if I put myself in a box and say, okay, you must work for 10 days on Spring Hill, or 10 days on, I have an old whip, I called my Illinois canvas. If I said I've got to do that, then it would not get done, and I just wouldn't stitch.
Mm-hmm.
I know myself well enough. So
how many squares are on the bingo thing, would you say?
I think there's 25, and there's a free one, because they pick 2 a month. So there's 24 called, and then you have a free one in the middle.
Okay, and they do 2 a month?
Yeah.
So what is it? You're supposed to work on it every day for 2 weeks?
No. It's up to you. You can set your own goals and your own limits, because everyone has different time limits and different abilities for stitching. Like if you're working mom and you only get a half hour one day a week, then you don't want to make something like, well, I'm going to stitch every day on this project for the month. That's just not going to work for you. So
okay,
you can set your own goals.
All right. So now that's starting to make me think that if I were to just line up, say a dozen,
Mm-hmm.
and just say every time I get to stitch, I'm going to work on the next one, and then come back to the beginning. That would be more than I'm doing now.
I guess I'm not following you. Are you saying you're going to have like a rotation where you
Yeah.
work through all like 12 of your whips?
Yeah.
And every day that you stitch, you're gonna stitch on one?
Yeah. So I have a chance to stitch today, so that's number 1. I don't get a chance to stitch for 2 days, and then I get a chance, so I grab number 2. Because for me to, I'm no longer kidding myself that I'm going to stitch every day, because it doesn't happen.
Right.
It just can't happen. But see that bingo idea, I like that, because it's random.
Right. And so, and if you, like, I know I want to get certain things done next year. I want to get them finished and hanging on my wall, or, do something done with them. We're having, my local guild is having a show. So I have a push to have things finished and ready to show for their big show. And so I want to go through some of those older projects that I haven't touched, that, they're really close to being done, and and they're wow projects. There are things that people are like, oh, really? You guys can do this, that I'd like to have us display.
Yeah.
But I won't touch them unless I kind of say, okay, I'm going to put away the shiny objects that's distracting me right now.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. And I'm going to work on those projects. And so those are I want to try to make sure that they get on my whip go board.
Yeah. See, for me, when you describe that twice a month, see, to me, that's not frequency enough.
Well, but okay, so you got 2 projects. They pull two things on your little square. So let's say one for you is going to be Spring Hill and one's Sarah Parr.
Okay.
So let's say you're really close. So you want to get Sarah Parr done. You can make that your goal to finish that project. Say, okay, I'm going to work on this, every chance I get. And then I'm only going to spend an hour on Spring Hill because it's just started and, I just want to move it. I just want to move it forward a little bit. So I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to work on it for an hour. When that hour is done, I can work on whatever I want. And those can be the 2 goals you have for that month.
Oh, I see. Okay. So at least I know that on 2 of them I'm making progress according to the whip go, and then I just throw in other stuff as I want to.
Right.
Okay, I get it. All right. I think that needs to be given an opportunity. I do.
Yeah. And there's people that explain it better. So if other people want to look that up, it's an easy look. Jennifer. So yeah. So, but I think it's mainly a way to encourage people to get their whips move forward.
Yeah.
We all have them. Some are larger, some are smaller. And you and I can tell you're like me. You like having huge projects.
Yes.
And, even if might be physically small, like I'm working on More Than a Rose, it has tons of stitching in it.
Right. Yeah.
It's basically a little full coverage piece.
Yeah.
And it's going to have surface stuff on it. So it takes a lot of time. We're not doing like little pillows you stick in a dough bowl.
No.
Which I actually think are cute, but I never do because I'm always trying to work on a big project and get them done. So.
Yeah, because that's what attracts me. It's like this Gay Ann's Mary's geometric. It's a 10 by 10 piece of canvas and probably 6 by 6, 8 by 8 ish. Probably 7 by 7 is what it probably is. Design, but yeah, there's in some areas there's 2 and 3 layers, but that's what I like. I like doing that stuff.
Right.
I like it, and I'm also not particularly concerned that it get done. I just enjoy doing that kind of thing. So when Gay Ann says put this down and then put this on top and then put this around the edges, yeah, let's go. Let's do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we all stitch for different reasons. Like right now, like I said, cross stitch is just kind of calling to me. And I don't know why making the little X's is just what I want to do right now. It's relaxing to my mind.
Right.
But I have an urge to do a needlepoint piece where I have to make, play with the threads a little more, where I have to make sure they don't twist, a little more concern over the stitches and following the stitch diagrams. That urge is coming on, and I'm like, okay, I need a needlepoint piece. Do I have a needlepoint piece that's small that I can work on that I've already started?
Yeah.
But no, everything's big. Everything's got to be big. So.
Yeah. So that's exactly. And then I have to say, I've been thinking the other day. I keep telling myself I'm going to do this. I want to try needle painting, and I gotta get out Trish Burr's book, where she just gives you the color samples, and then you just needle paint just swatches.
Have you been reading my mind lately?
No.
I was thinking the same thing. This is so weird. I was listening to, I know why. I was listening to you and Mary Corbett this morning, and I was thinking, oh, that's what I need to do. I need to pull out that Color Compliments.
Yes, that's what it is. You're right. Yes.
And because it's quote unquote just DMC. In fact, I was talking to a friend about it, and she said, yes. She said, you just need she said, just use an old sheet. And I thought, I have an old white sheet I just pulled out of my linen closet that I thought, I can cut this up to a rag. And I'm thinking, no, I can cut this up and use it to make little samples.
Right. Yeah. I think that's been on my mind, because I would really like to learn to needle paint, but to be good at it or adequate at it, I shouldn't say good. I mean, that takes a while, but to be adequate at it, I think you just need to sit down with a set of colors, just DMC thread, just grab them from stash. And right. I think you just need to just stitch swatches and get better at the shading part and the long and the short and the splitting and all the things that go with it. And then when you feel like you can do gradations that look fairly even, then I think is when you move on to, a Trish Burr bird or something.
Right. And for me, it's one of those things that frightens me with my casket. I don't know if there's thread painting on the casket, but it's something that I'm not good at. Is that shading with thread. And it's like, okay, so how are you going to get better at it? The only way you're going to get better is if you practice it.
Right.
And again, it doesn't have to be like, oh, this is drudgery. It's like, okay, you're learning a new technique. You're practicing something that'll further your art.
Right.
And I think that's just a mental game, to play. I need to practice this. I need to, and I think like Jennifer did it. She got the book, and what did she do? The next thing you know, she's doing thread painting, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, she'd be one who could do that right out of the gate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she had beautiful stuff going, just monkeying around with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's something, something like that you can take with you anywhere. You don't need all kinds of infrastructure.
All right. You just need a few threads, needle, scissors,
piece of sheet,
a piece of. Well, that's what she said. You just need a nice tight weave of cotton sheeting. That's all you need. It's not rocket science.
Right. All right. That needs to be done too. All right. These things need to be done. And I shouldn't say needs to be done. I would like to do them. I would like to experience and gain skill.
Right. And my mistake, I took Spring Splendor with Kay Stannis. It was a group correspondence course. My guild voted on it. I was education at the time, and they're like, we want to do this one. And I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. And I was kind of leading it. So it was kind of the blind leading the blind.
Good,
Luckily,
good.
there were other people in the group, and they knew what they were doing, and they followed that. We all followed the other person. No one wanted to step on the leader. And I said, I can put my name down, but I'm not leading this group. Anyway, I look at that piece, my Spring Splendor, and I can see how poorly I shaded the petals and all. The laying technique is fine. It's nice and smooth. I didn't do bad on that, but the silk shading was bad. And I've always thought, I need to get better at that. That's a skill I need to work on. But the only way you can get better at it is if you pick up a needle and thread and practice.
Actually do it.
Yeah,
because there's all kinds of those kinds of things. All kinds of those kinds of things. There's a sentence for you. Write that one down. Remember that one.
All kinds of things.
Yeah, beautifully constructed. Because Goldwork.
Right.
Now, all right, what slows me down on Goldwork is getting something on a slate frame. Well, how am I going to learn how to do that unless I actually do it?
Right.
So I got to do that. And then I would like to just take a piece of cloth and just practice couching. And learn, develop some skill, because I have that Van Gogh thing from Natalie Dupuis that I would really like to do because it's beautiful. But I'm not going to touch that till I feel like I can couch two rolls of gold thread next to each other, not have it look like a kindergartner did it, you know? I got to practice. Yeah.
Right. And I think sometimes it's the pre-work. We think, I'll do that another time. I'm too busy, or we don't give ourselves permission to take the time. I have the time. Why don't I just go and set up my slate frame? Go grab my color complements book and let's get the colors out that I need to do one little leaf and just set it up.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go when I have a little bit of time to work on it.
Yep. Yeah, you certainly have the colors. It's not a matter of materials. It's just a matter of putting them together and doing them. Yeah.
Yeah, gathering them. And then it's like, I don't want to do, yeah. I have this all set up. I'll just keep working on it.
Yeah. All right. We basically got to get our act together here is what this comes down to. Yeah.
Yes. So we can, and I think it goes back to wanting to improve our needlework and to get, not just, to get better so it looks nicer, but because of our own self-satisfaction of I'd like to be able to needle paint. I'd like to be able to do my casket and make it look decent. I don't want to just jump into that and have it look like a sticky mess. So.
Yeah. See, and I just I don't have a casket, Emerald City casket sitting out on the horizon that I want to get to, but I just think it's fun to learn those things and to get competent at them. Right. Just, even if it's just doodle cloth and needle painting an oval, I think it's fun to learn that and have that thing on your resume. So, yeah, why not? But you got to actually sit down and do it. You got to thread a needle.
Right. Mm-hmm. And take the time.
So, well, and so there, all right, there's the thing. Do I sit here and stitch on what's sitting here on the scroll bars? Or one night, do I say, nope, I'm going to needle paint? And I think that's what you need to do. Set this aside and just do the other thing. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, sometimes though, if it's something I'm like, I'm kind of dreading it. I make myself, it's like anything, you set yourself a timer for like 30 minutes and say, okay, I'm going to do this for my 30 minutes and then I can do whatever I want afterwards. If I still want to continue needle painting, then I'll continue needle painting. But if I give myself a time limit, then it doesn't seem like such an onerous task. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. But then the first question I have is if it's an onerous task in the beginning, why are you forcing yourself to do it for any length of time? Just don't do it.
Well, because I know if I want to have this skill.
Oh, I see.
It's like, okay, so, you have kids who've learned piano or learned a musical instrument. You have to practice. I don't want to practice. Yeah. Well, it's the same sort of thing. Sometimes you have to force yourself to say, okay, if I want this skill, what do I have to do to get to the skill? Well,
okay.
Just doing 30 minutes, then you have the rest of the time to do whatever stitching you want. I think you'll see progress over time.
Yeah. Okay, I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leads me to the last time we talked, we were talking about drawing.
Yes.
And you started doing, what were you doing, 30 minutes a day drawing?
No, 15. 30 was way too long. I couldn't do, and sometimes it's only 5.
Yeah. So, all right, but you've done a few and you posted them. What has come out of that? Other than the fact you realize you can't draw. I mean,
yeah, I can't draw. It's like, but two things. I knew when going in that when I was drawing was not going to look good, and I knew that. But I also know, and I stopped posting after a while. I thought, this is stupid. No one wants to look at this ugly stuff.
No,
I don't even want to look at this ugly stuff.
No, see, and that's where you stopped posting, and I was enjoying looking at it. Because I was doing a vicarious thing. I was enjoying watching you and seeing if you were improving, and it looked like you were gaining, a little bit, but no, I thought it was most
Right.
interesting to see what you were doing with that.
Well, and then, you sent the note about this, and I thought, you know what? I know, again, like anything, if you take a little bit of time and you practice it, you'll get better. And I watched my daughter when she was real little, when she couldn't draw a thing, and now she's much older, and she taught how to draw a portrait or how to draw a face at her college.
Oh,
So,
okay.
just, for people who wanted to learn the basics, and she could do that. And I know that when I take time to practice, that it does get better. And it doesn't take, again, it takes 5 to 15 minutes of time where you just say, okay, this is the time I'm going to sit here. And even if all I'm doing is doodling, you're kind of learning how your materials work, how, like if I'm using a pen, okay, this pen skips, I'm not getting the lines I want. I found a mechanical pencil, and I tried that, and I really didn't like the lines it was making. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
So you're learning as you go. And so I thought, you know what, Max and I were sitting and talking, and I like to do something with my hand. And so I just sat and I did a little doodle while we sat and talked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it does make you improve. It forces you to improve. And I also know I don't want my drawing skills are not so I can become this great artist and be shown at, the National Gallery. No interest. Not going to happen. I know that. My drawing skill is so when I get to the point where I'm going to do my casket, I can say, okay, I want to draw a flower. I need to draw a robot for my son who was in robotics. I want to put a robot on here, or I want to draw the trebuchet that my boys built, and I want to put that on
right.
on the casket, whatever. I have to be able to draw that, and I have to be able to shade it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two things I need to know to put it on the casket, and that's the skills I'm moving forward to.
Yeah. Because for needlework, you don't need some beautifully detailed drawing. You need a basic outline and some dimension, and then you go to work with the thread to make it happen.
Right.
So, because see, that was when you started out, you were just doing some basic two-dimensional stuff, and then it wasn't very long, and I remember a mug or something you drew, and I thought, hey, she's got some dimension to that. That's pretty good, and yeah.
Right. And I've also decided, when my daughter was younger, she took a lot of, because I didn't have the skills to teach her, we had a lot of online drawing classes that she worked her way through. And I think I still have access to them. So I was thinking, I had to go find those and work my way through them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that would improve my drawing skill.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem right now is I don't have a book to go through. I don't have a step-by-step plan. And if I'm just sitting and fiddling around, I can get a little bit better. But I think if I want to truly improve, I need to grab one of those drawing classes and just sit down and do that for a few minutes every day or every other day, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You
need a target. You need something to shoot for. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who, if you don't have something to shoot for, who doesn't get better, or who does get better if you don't, if that
if
you need something to shoot for. Yeah.
Right. It's just like my husband likes to play music, and he knows he improves when he follows one of the lesson plans that he's got on the computer that he follows. And you can tell, I'm not very much of a musician, but I can hear it when he's been practicing and following the lessons, and all of a sudden he'll play one of the songs that he's been playing for a while, and like, okay, that sounded better,
Yeah.
or whatever. And the drawing's the same, needlework is the same. Doing the color complements book, working through one of the color palettes in there would be helpful, because then you'd learn to shade.
Right.
It has everything there for you.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. You just take that, for instance, needle painting, learning to shade. if you have that skill, how many times would you run into something in another project where you would have an area and you think, boy, why don't I just shade this instead of putting in X's?
Right.
And you would be on your way to making it your own and doing something creative with it. And but that's not the time to learn how to do it.
Right. Right. You need to have that skill before you
right. Yeah.
start doing a whole lot of changing. Right.
yeah. All right. So what we're taking out of this is you actually have to thread a needle.
Yes.
That's step one. And then you need to practice some of these things on stuff that doesn't matter, a bed sheet.
Right.
And get some skill together so you can actually do them.
Right.
Not
right.
so tough.
No, it just takes time.
Yeah. And we all have nothing but time.
We're just bored because we don't have any projects.
No. All right. We're going to call it there because I have to go call Gene and get 56 count whatever after you send me what the whatever is.
Yes.
And Soisserfine for porte-a-fête so we can set that up and stitch on hoops.
Stitch on hoops.
Okay, we're going to do it old school. Old school.
In a hoop.
In a hoop. Yeah. All right, that's the deal. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Right. And then, is that all we're going to start?
Right now.
At least for right now. Okay.
Right now. On this very day.
Okay.
Now,
well, you
the
don't
sun...
you don't have your fabric anyway. I'm not worried about it. It'll
no.
take at least a week.
Right. Yeah. On this day, that's what we're going to start. Now, the sun is going to go down and come back up. And so, that is another set of opportunities. But at this very moment, yes.
At this very moment, just one
yeah,
thing.
That's where we're at.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Had me nervous there for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that tomorrow morning one or the other of us will not text each other and say, hey, how about this? But at this very moment, we're going to do porte-a-fête on 56 count Soisserfine in a hoop.
In a hoop.
Old school sampler stitching.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do. Okay.
All right. We're nuts.
I got to quit talking to you because my pile of stuff to do is getting too high.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Oh, yes, it is. This one is yours 100%. All right. Cathe Ray tonight, Thread Talk, 8 o'clock on the YouTube channel. No show next Wednesday. Cathe Andrews this Sunday, The Unbroken Thread. And if you haven't listened, go back to last Sunday and Mary Corbett. There are 7 Mary Corbetts. 7 yes. Mary Corbett shows throughout the history of the Fiber Talk. If you want just overdose on Mary Corbett, you can just hunt those down. Go to wetalkfiber.com, put in Mary Corbett. A bunch of other things will come up because we talk about her all the time, but there's 7 shows you can talk about, you can listen to. Yeah. Cindy mentioned to me a couple weeks ago, or whenever we last talked, that she's tracking this better than I am, that in January will be the 5 years for Fiber Talk.
Really? 5 years?
Think about that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now I can't say if we'll be starting the 5th one or we'll have finished the 5th one. I can't say that. I think we'll be starting the 5th year. But either way, long time. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
That is.
Because
this went from a once a week.
I know. It was going to be a couple times a month, and now it's just yeah. Because this is midweek show 219.
Wow.
And I think we're up to 230 something with the guest shows. So that's 450 shows. In addition to the live shows and the other things. So,
that's amazing.
All right, so that means I got to plan this thing because that means sometime in 2022 we'll have 500 shows. So I got to plan that. I have to map that out because we should do something for 500 shows, don't you think?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, I'll have to map that out on the old calendar and see when that falls and what kind of a show that is.
Yeah, we have to have a celebration of some sort.
I mean, 500 shows, that's a ton.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right. I mean, we're within shouting distance. It's going to happen, whether we do anything about it or not. It's going to happen next year, so we might as well do something about it, huh?
Yeah, it's not doing something about it. It's something to celebrate it.
Yes, that's what I really mean. Yeah, we need to. I mean, 500 shows. We gotta talk about that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay, one more thing to put on the schedule. We'll do it. All right.
Excellent.
Okay, now we're really quitting.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.